Biggie Smalls is rapping on the radio. Biggie Smalls is rapping on the radio. Biggie Smalls, that's his name. His name's Wallace, too. That's right. Wallace, just like me. Christopher George Latour Wallace. But everybody calls him Notorious B.I.G. And he's got a cousin named Little Deceased or something like that. And it's a little obvious, but I like that name, too. And I like how Biggie spits out his words, just draws them out. A Brooklyn kind of loose, easy action. He spits out the words like broken teeth or pieces of cement, and I like how he tells the story. I mean, not in the usual way. And, oh, by the way, Biggie Smalls is dead. Shot 4 times in the chest in Southern California in 1997. It's a long time ago, and it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. It's a mystery. Like Wikipedia says, the murderer was never found. And oh, by the way, the week I wrote this poem, a college kid in New York City jumped off the George Washington Bridge. He was gay, he was from New Jersey, and his roommates played a trick on him, and now he's dead. People jump off bridges a lot. They never make a splash, but this one makes a splash, and the world sits up, and there's a big stew, and out of the big stew, nothingness, and says something, and then everybody's saying something at the same time. Even Ellen DeGeneres cries about it on national TV. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a name, and for Christ's sakes, college kid had a name. Tyler Clementi. Nothing big, nothing notorious, just Tyler. And nothing's ever going to change in this world. Christopher George Latour Wallace was just trying to make some money for his daughters. Tyler Clementi was just trying to find some love. And maybe I'm trying to make out the words to a Biggie Smalls song. Words, 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 words. Who killed Biggie? Who killed Tyler? Words for everything. This world is a big stew pot of words. This world's a big mystery. This world sits up from its big stew of nothingness, and then it lies back down again. Wrestling Godzilla, daydreaming in Connecticut. I won't get into it. It's strange. It's my usual nightmare. Godzilla and me, arms swinging everywhere, when in walks a delivery boy from Subway with a tray of sandwiches, and my literature professor says, what would Jack Kerouac find to write about that, Mr. Wallace, Mr. Wallace? And I'm thinking, platter is what I was looking for. A tray full of dull American hero sandwiches, cold cuts, lips, tomato, tongues, rolling out sad American sandwiches, some with lettuce, some with mayo and mustard. No respectable deli in New York would make sandwiches like these Subway sandwiches. White bread, stomach ripped open, flattened out, sliced with American cheese. And I'm thinking, where did these sandwiches come from? Where did the sandwiches come from? Who made them? Hispanic men and women with soft voices and softer hands. Cornmeal women, tequila men, workers, documented and undocumented, making big, bland American heroes, their eyes veiled against the northern gloom, their eyes big, round, brown, and polite, dreaming of big American paychecks, hopeful, oh yeah, American money to bring home to babies and barefoot daughters, soft-spoken women and their men who are not yet home from a day's work, riding lawnmowers, shoveling snow, waiting on the blue-black street corner every morning while carpenter crews drive past. Men with hands like tortillas who stop home after work only to see friends in a bar, a dark, crowded, unfriendly bar that was once upon a time inhabited by crews of Irish, Polish, Italian, Greek immigrants, a rusty working man's Milltown kind of dive, jackets zipped up against the cold, railway porters, tobacco pickers, mill workers, immigrants of a long ago dawn trying to make a buck, trying to make ends meet. Shady dives made over for Latinos, half empty, raw whiskey and swinging stringed bulbs. Of filthy lights diffusing everything, flypaper strips punched out plywood, year-old calendars, rough-talking mamas and men in overcoats by the dour's shoulders, haunched a sad old halo of hair wreathed in snowflakes. A silence of drinking men and their misunderstood anger, broken by the occasional shout of enthusiastic words, explosion of laughter, sudden genial commotion, subterranean workers with grass stains and holes in their pants, bleach and powder of illegal backroom midnight bakeries, wrestling their own great American nightmare daydream Godzilla. Yeah, man. Places on the night shift, in a glass factory, in a warehouse, on a commuter train, in a playground after dark, on the neighbor's lawn, next to the teeter-totter, between cold monkey bars, at the water tower, by a spooky old tree, by the railroad tracks or down by the mill. Shit happens in the typical places. In a schoolyard, in a study hall, behind the gym, under a wedding canopy, at the beach house, in a college dorm, on the internet, in an army barracks, during halftime at the Super Bowl, while looking for shooting stars at sea, on land, in the boiler room of a hospital, on the roof, or on the queasy deck of a cruise ship, in Madison, Wisconsin, and Brighton Beach, Kiev, Kabul, Cleveland, Akron, Seoul, Sao Paulo, Srinagar, and Dakar, or in Delaware, Des Moines, and in Detroit. Shit happens. Shit happens by a vegetable cart in front of a museum, outside Lenin's mausoleum, at a statue of Gandhi in Union Square, in exotic places and in tame. Shit happens, and whenever it happens, in the 14th arrondissement or the Golden Temple, in an abandoned mine shaft or under a railroad bridge at noon, shit happens. Shit happens. On the photocopy room, at the checkout register, in the eyes of a perfect stranger, in the voices of a wounded child. It happens when shops are closing. It happens when pigeons circle the park. It happens when desire is rotten and when lovers stop trusting each other. Shit happens when the ground is hard, when memory fades and the movie's over, when the bulb of the bedstand lamp burns out, in trousers, jingling with terrible change and terrible poems, in country and western songs that have nowhere to go. Shit happens at the end of a novel, at the beginning of a voyage, in a jazz club, in the Flatiron District, in a Bronx hallway, on the subway train. Shit happens, hindsight is 2020. Shit happens, denial is 2010. Shit happens, if a man is not careful, he can go blind in one eye. All day long I want to make a list of all the places where shit happens, and when that list is completely done, I want to send it to the people that I have forgot that I love. The cross-country bus stops unexpectedly on the side of the road, and the driver gets up from his seat. The bus door opens and steps out into the field. We are in Missouri. He's going outside to take a leak in the field in the sun. He is a large man. You can see that even from the side of the bus. He is quite large, a bit larger than one might imagine. A woman across from me half gets up out of her seat to watch. She begins to complain, but her companion tells her to shut it, and she does. From the look of him standing there, his back to the bus in the tall grass, he looks to be about as wide as a bread delivery truck. Any kind of panel truck, actually. One that's been driven off the road into some nasty bushes by some hasty bushes by some kids with nothing to do all day. They borrowed it from a neighbor's driveway. They filled it full of beer and musical instruments. They've driven it down to this field full of sun and haze and buzzing instincts, and they've abandoned it in the sun for a few hours, and they've walked Indian file down to a clandestine pathway only that they know about and nobody else. And now they're relaxing down in a place over the hill where you and I can't see them, a place with a swim hole and a flat rock where young people go for smoking pot and for some good old-fashioned naked swimming without being disturbed by cops or grown-ups. From where I am sitting, I can see the arc of the bus driver pissing. It looks like the St. Louis Arch in the sun. I wonder if being a man with a field in Missouri would be a nice kind of a man to be. The sun would feel good splashing on my arms and face. I could smell things growing all around me, things that are rich and alive, nothing like New York City. Wheat, barley, clover, hay, honeybees, horses you could ride, a smoke shed you could keep for curing hams. I want to get off the bus and look around at the real estate. I'm quite sure the bus driver wouldn't mind. From where I'm sitting, he looks like a decent man. I mean, who notices a bus driver? He looks like a man who wouldn't turn around or stare over his left shoulder if one of the passengers was to happen to get out and have a look around while he's peeing. Nice place for a picnic, I could say, loud enough for only him and me to hear. He would notice, but he wouldn't say anything. He's not like that. Just keep on pissing. After a long time, the driver goes back on the bus. He takes his seat and he closes the bus door, and things go back to normal. Everyone's relieved. You can hear the sound of it through the bus. People settling back into their seats, getting comfortable again. We're going to do that thing we have all gotten on this bus for. We're going to move forward. The bus bumps into gear. I would say the motion is between a nudge and a jolt, like being inside a small ancient shack on the side of the mountain, side of a mountain in Chile, a shack with a tin roof that has felt the earth move many times over and become used to it. A shack in Chile that is still standing in any weather. Whenever the earth moves, that shack sways but never falls. As for the people inside, when the earth begins to shake, they don't get up out of bed anymore. They just go on making love to each other. Sometimes he says to his friends, she's a field of arrowheads and rocks. It's like sticking into a bag of razor blades. Sometimes she says to her friends, him, he's a tired old rooster. Like a rag you wouldn't even put in your mouth unless you had to put it in there to stop a tooth. And that's just talk. They become accustomed to their lives, this man and woman. When the earth moves, they hold on tight to each other and they rock with emotion. If they do that, they both loosen up. If they do that, their lovemaking goes quite a lot better. If they do that, it makes them both feel content about themselves